Hello students, today I'm going to show you how to multiply and divide decimals. Make sure that you put this in the topic and objective up at your cardinal notes. Also write your name, write your math in your class period, and write today's date on there. Today's daily learning target is going to be students will be able to compute math problems involving the multiplication and division of decimal numbers. First we're going to start with multiplying decimal numbers. When you multiply decimal numbers with decimals, the main thing to remember is to ignore the decimals and multiply like normal. Example, I got here 8 and 67 hundredths times 1 and 5 tenths. Notice that the decimals don't have to line up. So I'm going to ignore the decimals and I'm going to multiply like normal. As you usually do, your first number on the right, 5 times 7 will be 35. So that we write the 5 here and we're carrying a 3. Then you multiply 5 times 6, which is 30. Then you add the number that you're carrying, 33. So you write 3 here and then you're carrying 3. Now you multiply what's 5 times 8, which is 40, and then you add what you're carrying, 43. Now, as you move to the next place value to multiply the next number, you must add a 0 to the second number here so that you automatically move to the next place value that you are multiplying. Now you multiply the second number. 1 times 7, that would be 7, it would go here. Then 1 times 6, you bring down the 6, it would go to the next place value. Then 1 times 8, you put it down here. As notice, they're all lined up. Now when you're done here, you're going to add these two quantities. 5 plus 0 is 5. 7 plus 3 is 10. So you write a 0 here and you're carrying a 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. Plus 6 is 10. So now you add another 0 and you're carrying another 1. So 1 plus 4 is 5. Plus 8 is 13. Okay? Now, when the multiplication part is finished, you have to go back to count the decimal spaces from right to left on both numbers and add the amount of spaces. And you will do the same amount of spaces on the answer. Now, as you can see here, if you count from the right to the left, you count 2 spaces to get to the decimal, and then this one space to get to the decimal. In total, it's going to be 1, 2, plus this one is 3 spaces. So then you do the same amount to the answer. 1, 2, 3 spaces. And there you go. Now you don't want this to be in the way, so you can rewrite the answer, and your answer is going to be 13 and 5 thousandths. This is how you multiply decimals. Now, for multiplying decimals, it gets a little tricky. When dividing decimal numbers, one thing to remember is that the divisor must be a whole number. Now, as you can see, when you have it in this format, the dividend is the one that goes inside, and the divisor is the one that goes outside. And remember, your quotient is actually your answer to the division problem. Now, as you can see in those brackets here, the divisor must be a whole number. If the divisor is a whole number, then just move the decimal from the dividend up to the quotient. Make sure to keep your numbers lined up. Example, I have here 1 and 17 hundredths divided by 9. So what you need to do is rewrite it into this format. Remember that the top number is the dividend, the bottom number is the divisor. So now here, since the divisor is a whole number, all you have to do in the dividend is move the decimal straight up and then start dividing like normal. Here, 9 goes into 1 0 times. So now you write 0. Now you use the whole 11 here. 9 goes into 11 one time. 1 times 9 is 9, and now 11 minus 9 is 2. Now you bring this 7 down, so now you have 27. Now you ask yourself, how many times does 9 go into 27? That would be 3 times. 3 times 9 is 27, then 27 minus 27 is 0. As you can see, 1 and 17 hundredths divided by 9 is equal to 13 hundredths. As you can see here, this was your dividend, this was your divisor, and this is your quotient. And this is how you would divide if your divisor is a whole number. Now, this is a different situation. When the divisor is also a decimal number, we must convert it into a whole number by moving the decimal point all the way to the right as many spaces as needed, and also move the decimal point in the dividend the same amount of spaces. In other words, what you do to the divisor, you must do to the dividend. Example, here I have 3 and 808 thousandths divided by 14 hundredths. Now in this format, you need to understand that this number is your dividend and this number is your divisor. So when you rewrite it in this format, the 3 and 808 thousandths goes inside and the 14 hundredths goes outside because that's your divisor. Now in this case, your divisor is a decimal. So you must convert it into a whole number by moving the decimal all the way to the right. In this case, we have two spaces that we got to move to the right. So whatever you do to the divisor, you must do to the dividend. So here we moved it twice, then here we must also move it twice, two spaces. Now